I did. I pushed the listing back a day.
Yeah.
He got so upset. He came in screaming and yelling at me. I don't know what you want from me. Have you never been in this situation before? Like,
what's going on, guys? Jeff Weigel here, and I'm back, and I'm talking to more realtors and learning all about their first year. And I'm here with Jamie Johnson, another rock star from the agency, real estate brokerage right now. And yeah, so like, we just want to kind of know and tell the audience, like, how did you find your first year? And like, let's already go back and talk about how did you find the testing to get into real estate? Did you do the Ontario 3 test and then qualified? Yeah, you were in that boat, because now you got to take 5, and very shortly everybody's got to go to the college. So, but let's talk about how you passed the test. Did you find they were hard, easy?
Absolutely the most difficult thing I think I've ever done. I do not test well. I am not a test taker. I'm not a studier. I am very much like a learning by doing. I learn best out in the field. So I am not kidding you, Jeff. I took the commercial test 5 times. I paid. That means, do you know what that means?
Yeah, tell us.
I paid for that course 3 times.
And that was, isn't it an $800 course?
It's
500? Okay. So
the broker course is like
like how nervous were you then? Obviously every time you got it right the second time, and then if you fail, you have to pay.
Honestly, you guys, I don't care. Like, I hate tests. So like, I don't prepare for them. Like, it's just, but yeah, I got to the point where I was like, okay, this is dumb. I'm wasting money. I'm wasting money, right? And that's when it kind of gets to the point where you're like, okay, maybe I'll sit down and study for.
Well, it's interesting. Maybe you were trying to like quickly just pass without studying too much.
I also am not at any, like, I will not sell commercial real estate.
Right.
You will not see me doing it. I will not do it.
Well, it's important to pick a niche, and
yeah. So, and I just have no interest in doing it. I'm not a numbers person, as like you are. Like, I don't do even investment real estate, really. I really focus on like the family aspect of residential real estate. So yeah, it was hard for me to even feel like, you know, when you're in high school and you're in like history and you have no interest in history, but you have to take a full out exam on it and get a 75. Yeah, that was me with commercial real estate. I couldn't.
Yeah, and yeah, they make you do it, but I guess it does show you what you don't want to get into.
100%, which is
but
nice.
Interesting too, the test, you don't even, what they teach you, have you used any of it? Like, you use some of it, but like probably a good 70% of it you never even
Yeah, the only thing you really use that I can remember is like taking the 3 comps and
for the commercial part, yeah.
No, not even for the residential, but for pricing out a home.
Right.
So you would take them, say they're very similar, but you take them plus and minus a couple of different things. That's kind of what we do. I do on a regular basis when I'm pricing a home. I narrow it down to 1 or 2 houses that are comparable, and then kind of plus and minus, you know, finished basement, 2-car garage as opposed to 1-car garage, kind of thing.
Good.
Yeah, so that's really the only thing. It was really nice though too. My teacher was, and I don't know if it's going to be like this in the college courses, but my teacher was a very reputable salesperson. So he had been in the business for like 30 years.
But now he's teaching.
But he was teaching, so he had his own brokerage, and his wife was more of the, like, she was the broker of record, so she was kind of like more in the field, and then yeah, he was spending a lot of his time teaching. But as a student, it was really nice for me because he was able to give me real life examples. So whenever he was talking about something, I'd be like, and then because I learn, that's how I learn. I don't
like just learning the policy is one thing, but learning like where to use it is a lot.
And
different.
yeah, examples mean the world to me. Like, if then I find that I do that in my videos online. I even, like, if I explain something, and because I talk really fast.
Yeah, and you do a lot of great Instagram where you're talking and coaching buyers sometimes, and then like
a lot of people tell me that I am very educational, and because the thing is I just try to put out content that I would find interesting and that I would learn from as a person, because I know how difficult it is to understand this business.
Right.
And yeah, a lot of people do involve themselves in real estate all the time, almost every day. People are on MLS looking around at the stuff, but they don't necessarily know what they're looking at. So it's cool to be able to give people that. It's crazy.
So now you're qualified, you pass all these tests, and $1 million listing agent right away, right?
Yeah, that's how it goes. No, it was hard. Well, first of all, I mean, it's hard for me to kind of like,
What age did you start at?
I was 20.
Okay. It's interesting.
Just turning 21. And I was still like not ready to be an adult. So I was very much, like, I'm so stubborn. Oh my God.
And real estate can be very adult.
Oh my gosh.
It's the biggest purchase of most people's lives.
And like,
life.
I lived with my mom still.
Right.
I'm the kind of person that I need to be educated or else I get nervous. Like, I can't talk to you confidently about something unless I'm like, nope, you're wrong. You know, like, unless I'm able to actually have an intelligent conversation with you. So I took that first year kind of just like following around my leader, and I don't know what you would call her, a mentor.
Yeah.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the problem is that I actually chose somebody that was very, very, I love her. I love her to death. She's like my bigger sister. But she was very like scatterbrained, just like me, and she actually scared the crap out of me. She did. I tried to quit a year into it.
Just because she was telling you so many different things and you couldn't really
She just
pinpoint how to
always
make money?
seemed so stressed. And I, as a 21-year-old, I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm 21. I don't want to be like that yet. Like, that to me is like what I should be like when I'm 30. But I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but like, so maybe you had your own goals and she wanted you to do different amount of goals.
Well,
like, she wanted you to run around like crazy and you're kind of like, I just want to like...
I felt the pressure for
Yeah.
sure. Like, she never said to me directly, like, you need to do this, this, and this. But because she was so go, 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 go all the time, I felt like I was like, I'm failing her. You know, like, I can't.
Was she taking any of your money or just helping you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They always do. But no, it's actually, I paid, do you want me to talk about my split?
Sure.
So for the first 3 years in real estate, I paid 75-25.
Okay.
So no matter what, somebody was taking 25% of my paycheck, and that's before taxes. So you keep like if you do the math, you keep like 45% of every check. It's hard, right? When you're paying for the photos and you're paying for the signage and you're paying for all of those things.
Yeah, because you gotta buy those, and everybody tells you have to buy those right away. So, and then you might buy things that don't work out, and unfortunately, you gotta experiment in your first year sometimes.
Do you know what happened to me, Jeffrey?
Tell me.
I had, you know, those directional signs that you put at the end of the street to kind of point everybody towards your.
Yep.
I bought 20.
Okay.
And do you know that area, Singleton, where Singleton is? There's like an entrance off of 3 main roads in London. Okay, so like, and they all have roundabouts. So all 20 of my signs are out
I'm
there.
a new agent. I have to put these signs in.
Oh yeah, I had to direct people. Like, it's amazing.
They don't have the internet and Google Maps. No, but like at first you don't know when you're new.
No, it's true. It's true.
Like,
and you want to
or a seller can be like, you should get directional signs. You're like, okay, I better get directional signs.
It's, oh my God, there's so many little things. Like, a lot of people too, they like C21 agents, they'll pay for like I don't know how much those brochures cost that they give you at the open house, but like, I've never once kept one.
No, well, and when you're more experienced later on, I would tell a seller, like, listen, the directional signs are great, but the only person that's actually coming here is somebody that saw this on the internet, not somebody driving by and is going to buy your house.
Yeah.
And like, that's the old school kind of thinking. So anyway, so when you're new.
For me, the biggest thing was is advertisement, to be real. I wanted my signs on the main roads.
And somebody said, I saw your arrow, can you sell my house?
No, like, but I actually have ones that are, it's just top of mind.
Yep.
So for
very
like,
important.
yeah, so for me, like, just having, I pay so much attention to those signs. When I drive by, I'm the kind of realtor that like, when I drive down the street, I'm like, good for you, Dean, like, you sold it, good job. Like, I pay attention to those things. So that's how I market.
There's one over here where the guy left it for a long time. It just says sold. It's in the roundabout, and it's like, okay, it's been 6 months.
I know. I've almost called a couple agents one time being like, Kate.
Well, it's not even worth our time sometimes to go get it.
I know. Well, that's what the sign companies are for. I love.
Yeah.
Well,
or the city when they.
That's where I was going
with
that story. 20 signs. I left with 3.
The city can.
I called the city and I said, how do I get my signs back? And she was like, oh yeah, this is my favorite. Oh yeah, that was actually me that took down your signs. She's like, you're not allowed to have them there. I go, I understand that. Okay, well, if you want them back, they're going to be $10 a piece.
Wow.
Wait, no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. I paid $10 a piece for them. She wanted 50.
What?
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Holy.
I'm not kidding. I was like, do you realize that like you're very much hurting a small business right now? Like I paid $10 a piece for those things. That's $200. And you want, what? What are you gonna do with them? Throw them in the garbage? But you can't. I was like, I'll buy them back from you for $5 a piece. Like she's like, no. So that's what happened to me as a brand new agent, trying to like, it was $200 was like, that was a lot for me. And I was excited about these signs, and then all of a sudden,
yeah, like then now it's an extra monthly expense. You gotta go redo it again, and the commission checks aren't coming in fast enough. And
it's not like the house sold and then I got paid that day, and I could, you know what I mean? Like, no, it was, that was really hard for me. And so now, like, I only
so you convinced her you're best buddies now, and you sold her house? No.
No, I'm not very kiss-assy. I very much am like, okay, if you're gonna say that. No, but it is hard. It's very hard when people ask me now, like, oh, like, do you have any tips for being a new agent, blah, blah, blah. I always say, do you have 10 grand?
So true. It's so expensive to become an agent. And like, how many times, you know, you hear people like, oh, when I'm retired, I'm just going to get my real estate license. Good luck. You know, it's you're not going to make anything if you think it's just getting your real estate license.
No, it's so much more than that. Yeah, people are very, the thing is like, because I did the math, so I wanted to be able to sustain my real estate license I just wanted to see what it would cost me in a year just alone to have my real estate license, and it was something like because with the fees,
there's insurance,
it was
there's
like
board fees,
10,000.
there's the brokerage fees, which is all variable, but like, and then if you just took it in your first year, there's all the course fees that you've got to take. Like, it's easy 10 G's right
well,
there.
when you sign up with your board, you pay $1,000 fee.
Yeah, I think it was even more, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
And whatever board you're in, it could be the Toronto board's probably worse, right?
I don't even want to think about that.
Everybody's like, oh, I'll get it on my first deal, but your first deal might not be for like, it could be in the first 30 days, but then they're likely not closing for the next 60 days or something like that.
And then it closes,
and then that's when you get paid.
Still wait 2 weeks.
You're waiting, you know, half a year to make a paycheck.
It's crazy.
So you better have, like Jamie's saying, you better have money to front.
And that's why I get so frustrated when people are like.
So then people keep their jobs a lot of times too, right? So what do you think about that? Because now you had a waitress job,
I
right?
did.
So a lot of people are similar boat. They're like, I can't afford to quit to do real estate full time, and they're in that chicken before the egg kind of thing.
It's extremely difficult. It's scary. It's so scary.
Because like, here's today's money, but then you're missing out on that $10,000 phone call potentially when you can't make it because you're making.
Oh, I was in the change room so many times, like listening to messages and being like, oh, I'll call you back in 5 minutes, and then like an hour would go by, because when you're serving, your time flies, and all of a sudden you can't even promise somebody that you're going. Like it's really hard, and especially when you work for somebody else, like at a corporate job or like a boss or like a 9 to 5. If you're on your phone, man,
because they don't care. Like, but I'm just dealing with a real estate client. They don't care.
They don't give
right.
2 craps.
You know, it's a tough one, but my suggestion is to just go in being just real estate agent.
It's hard.
Well, to me, that would every morning I'd wake up and have to make a sale. That's what I had to do in my first year, and I'm like, okay, where's the money coming from today?
It drives you.
Exactly, because the other one can be a little bit of a crutch, and you just kind of never really get out there.
110%. I just quit my serving job in July.
And
I'm in my 4th year.
And now you can.
Now oh my God, it was like, so what happened was I ended up getting really stressed out at work when I was serving. So I took 2 weeks off just to kind of give myself that time to see how it would go. And oh my God, my business skyrocketed.
You have time to do research more, send more emails, call, do everything.
Be there at 9 p.m.
You could be on the serving job and be like, oh, I gotta text those guys, but then you might not get off till 1 in the morning.
You never know when you're gonna get. It's serving is like, but at the same time, it is super flexible. If I if I had somebody cancel an appointment with me, I can pick up a shift. So like, here's the thing. I did not mind having that other job. I do agree with you that it's definitely a crutch. It definitely kind of slows things down if you don't feel that like it's
you don't
like,
need to go sell somebody's house.
yeah, you can go make a couple $100 in 5 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as connections go,
Yes, you had a good job for that, or at least you are good at doing that at your job. So
I had most of the people that I picked up from there were just other staff, because they were.
well, you're the real estate girl.
And like, yeah, I don't mind having conversations.
You're top of mind.
Yeah, I'm there and I'm working it, and people, and that's it. Okay, here's another thing. Instagram is huge. I would show up for a shift and people would be like, oh my God, Jamie, you just sold a house. And I'd be like, I didn't even have to tell them.
No, and we definitely cover this on the channel. Like, you guys how can they find you on Instagram?
JamieJ.realty.
Okay, perfect. We'll put that in the description. You
Yeah.
guys get over and follow her. It's amazing. A lot of great tips on there. But yeah, I always say, like, get out. That's free advertisement you're doing daily. And what that is just like a directional sign. That's top of mind every day that you're talking about real estate. You're showing your coffee. You're doing whatever it is of your day, and people are like, oh yeah, I'm ready to sell my home. Let me contact Jamie.
It's insane.
And they're like, they just send you a DM being like, hey, can you come over this week? We're thinking of selling. Boom.
It's funny. So I did just take a little bit of a break. It was kind of like a 3-month break. And I was trying to kind of keep active on my Instagram, but then I didn't really have anything to post because I wasn't into it, right? So what I'm getting at is just last week, I started posting stuff again. Last week, I want to say like Monday this week. And I already had somebody be like, oh my God, Jamie, help me buy a house. Like, or I had people message me being like, it's really nice to see you posting again. Like, I'm glad you're back at it, blah, blah, blah. Like, people, it is weird, but people love it.
Well, and they're following you, and then they follow you. It's not about the houses per se. They want to see your journey. And the funny part is they could watch for an entire year, and then they reach out. And like, you've been watching? I didn't even know you were watching. And then they'll just reach out to you.
My favorite thing to do, it's actually really funny because I'm very much like, Jeff probably doesn't agree with this, but I'll be real with you guys. I like swear on my Instagram. I'm good with that. Yeah. I am very much an honest.
Well, real estate is so real and raw. So like swearing, whatever society says
it's not like
about
I'm like that mother.
Yeah.
I don't say that. I say
YouTube. We got to keep that down.
Yeah.
Instagram. Who cares?
I don't say that. I say it like it's like what the heck are you? Like it's just me being.
Well, you're also relating to the same buyer demographic that probably relates to you, and you don't care that you don't sell grandma's house because you're never going to sell grandma's house.
I've had people reach out to me and be like, it's not professional that you swear,
good.
And I'm like, listen, I'm not looking to sell people houses like you.
Exactly.
I don't want to work for someone
100%.
like you.
Even for me, like, we don't do digital signatures. I don't probably want to work with you because then you're going to be a nightmare.
Who doesn't do that?
Well, it's just like
it's true.
Older people, like
old school.
Or it's like, what if they don't have Instagram? Cool. I don't want them as clients anyways. One, you're never going to win them because they're some older person that's in the house and they already have a realtor that they've used for 30 years per se. Maybe you can win them over, but like to spend the energy on winning them over versus just like actually targeting your good audience, a lot easier, for us. So
yeah, I had a deal this year where I took this girl out for looking at houses. This is all in St. Thomas, by the way, and I paid premium for gas, so I was not happy. Took her out to go see houses, went to her house to list it, had all the paperwork and everything done, and yeah, her old agent swooped in at the last second, and all of a sudden I saw what I thought was my listing online. And she followed me on Instagram, so I don't know if I had anything to do, you know what I mean?
But definitely like the ups and downs as being a new agent and once you get more a bit into your second, third, fourth year, you've had some losses. I've had losses, you've had losses. It's just how you kind of like get back up the next morning. It's gonna happen.
You learn from it, yeah.
Oh, definitely. I had even like best friends that sell with somebody else, and at first you're all emotional about it, and then you're like, oh, thank goodness, you'd have been a pain in the butt. Actually,
it's really hard, right? Like a couple of my hardest deals have been referrals from my family.
Yeah.
Like people
you can't tell. They're not listening to you, the realtor. They know you, and they're like, right?
You're speaking my language, Jeff. Yes, they don't. I find, okay, here's another thing. I am 24 years old. I'm a young blonde girl.
Yeah.
People don't take me seriously. They don't. And I mean, obviously, maybe it's because I swear on my Instagram, but at the same time, I don't show up to your house and be like, let's sell this house. Like, I don't do that.
No.
I know when to put my professional pants on. Like, You know what I mean? So
well, you need the swearing is your marketing kind of side to bring them in, like personability.
yeah, it's
and then-
relatable. Like I'm pretty sure everyone swears. No, right?
Actually, so like somebody,
you stub your toe, you're not gonna be like fidget sticks.
my real estate agent course that I sell, link in the description. A girl at a real estate meetup last night was like, "Hey, love your course. There's a lot of f-bombs in it," and I'm like, "Well, why does that matter? Like, I get it, society hates that, but it's like." During the course, I just got really real with the audience, and I was like, "Hey guys, this is real estate. Like, if you're gonna be so emotional on like some language, like, good luck out there in the field.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily swearing at other agents, but it's just so
They are ruthless.
they're ruthless. So if you think it's just some beautiful profession, we're all gonna like hug each other. It's not. It can be really cutthroat. You can still go have a beer with them afterwards, but it's like never. Yeah. So.
But that's why I love you guys, because I came from a place where, you did have to, you had a listing coming up and you really had to be hush hush about it until you got that thing on the market. And if you weren't,
Yeah, tell that story. I remember that, you told me that.
Joe Blow was calling. So I was a brand new agent. I was in the bullpen and I was looking up a house, and I had a client that was looking into it. It was like the first day this house was on the market, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I can't find anything wrong with this house. I have to ask like I think I'm missing something, and I just want to run it by an older agent. So I grabbed him from his office and I'm like, hey, can you check this out? He looks at it, he's like, no, yeah, you're right. Yep, you're looking at a great deal. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. Goes back to his office, packs up his stuff, and as he's walking out the door, he's like, just so you know, I just booked an appointment. I'm taking my buyer there right now. Don't ever tell people like what you're working on. And I was like, what?
It's such BS.
And with you guys, it's like, okay, I have a listing coming up next week. It's at such and such an address. Like, I'm gonna send you the pictures as soon as I get them, put them on your Instagram. Like, the first day it hits the market, like, let's all do an agent open house. We can do lives there. Like, when you work together, it is like insane. It's insanity.
Yeah, and if you guys are sitting out there being like, well, how does that benefit me? Because it's Jamie's listing and like I'm gonna go to her agent open house.
Don't think
you
that
don't
way.
think that way. One, you're helping her out, but two, you can help yourself out by you're going live at her place. Your audience sees that you're out doing stuff, and nobody ever thinks about this
God
stuff.
forbid you bring a buyer.
Right?
There's two sides to every
Exactly,
paycheck.
so-
Like, it's crazy that people, and that's the thing. Like, it definitely blows my mind that agents can be so horrifying to deal with, because I don't understand it. From my perspective, like, we've got the same goal here. Let's like calmly speak to each other instead of, you know what I mean? Like, you are not making me want to work with you.
You ever remember watching like Entourage back in the day, or?
No, I've seen the first episode.
Okay, but like the Ari Gold was like the agent for the movie stars, and he's always swearing and throwing his phone and being like that agent of like, F you, my client needs the best, blah, 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 blah. And like, you can do that in real estate as an agent. He's a celebrity kind of thing in the show, but you can do that as a real estate agent. You can win one battle being an ass, but the problem is when you're in a city, you got to deal with these people again in a month.
Clients
and
come and go.
You really only deal with the same, in our city, probably the same 200 agents, if that. Like,
There's 1,500 of them, but
there's 1,500 of them, but the only ones that are actually doing stuff are the same people every single time. So go ahead, swear at that person right there, but they're gonna remember you the next time. And you can also remember when they're mean to you, and then it can get cutthroat. So be always polite to every agent, really. You can swear at them behind the scenes, and we definitely vent. But
you can get stern with them.
Yes,
right?
because it is a deal.
Yeah, there's a difference between negotiating and getting like emotionally involved.
Exactly.
And that's what it blows my mind when people start to like scream and yell at me and tell me that like I'm being unprofessional, when I'm literally just, my broker is, every single time I deal with another agent, I call her like 18 times a day, because I need to make sure that
she wonders if I'm alive.
See, but it's because I want to make sure that I'm protecting myself in everything that I do, and she knows the book inside and out. So I give Rach a call and I'm like, hey, this person just said this to me, this is what I said, am I good? She'll say yes, or okay, maybe next time don't say that, or like, you know what I mean? But I always call her, I use her to my advantage, because she helps me learn. She helps me one day I'm not gonna have to call her, right? Like, but right now, starting to deal with, the more busy I get and the more stuff I have going on, the more I need that emotional support and the mental support.
Well, the more you do, the more unique deals just materialize, and you have to ask a question sometimes. Like, I've never seen this. What do you do? Like, every deal is different. Like, they're never this. I don't know how, but it's always different.
Well, because no house is the same.
No house is the same. Somebody wants this thing. The house is broken in this area, and
feng
this
shui.
and that.
That's
oh
how.
Yeah, feng shui.
You never know, right? You never know who you're dealing with, who the buyers are, who the agent is.
Yeah, because the seller agent could be very new as well, and you could be more senior, but like, never be that person where you're like, how long have you been in the business? And
No.
Don't be that agent.
Never question somebody's professionalism.
Because day one, when you're qualified, you're an agent.
Yeah.
Like minute one, you're an agent.
Exactly.
It doesn't necessarily matter if you're 30 years into the business or one. I love the people like, oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. Well, and then we're
Those
now.
are some of the worst ones.
Exactly, because they're in a rut because like they don't understand social media now and all this kind of stuff, and it worked for them in the past, just being whatever they did. They don't want to adapt, and they want to like explain to you what like the better days and what we used to do and all this, and you're like,
it's crazy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, here's my offer. Like, just like,
yeah, that was one of my biggest issues this year. Was a guy who'd been in the business for 30 years. I actually had to ban him from showing my house again because he was so horrible to me. And this house was like the cheapest house they sold all year.
There's some like sneaky tips you could do that, like if your seller doesn't want a certain agent in he or she's house, and like, but you maybe said like, this guy is not going to bring us an offer, just trouble. Like, you can deny a showing, technically.
Absolutely, you
so,
can. Yeah.
Because you're kind of coaching, but then you say, oh, my seller doesn't want you in the house. You start a little war, but...
For sure. Well, and that's the thing too, like when you ruin a relationship with another agent, like, yeah, say you're in a multiple offer situation and your client's obsessed with that house and you've treated that agent like crap.
This is what we were getting at even earlier. It's very important to be professional, polite, and good negotiating, because if you bring me an offer, like, if I trust you as an agent, I know you're gonna make sure your buyers are good.
Get the financing.
Financing, all this stuff.
Yeah.
When you're just a dick and you send me this offer, like, how am I supposed to confidently tell my sellers to take your offer?
100%.
It's like, I don't know about this guy, he's doing this and this, he's got a good number on the paper, but it means nothing right now until...
No, and that's why they call in the professionals to kind of get them through the fluff. Like, we've been there, we've dealt with these people before.
I have literally said, I know this person's from way out of town and hasn't even seen the house. Likely a headache, likely gonna get the deal done.
It's true, and that's our job.
And then your client, your seller can pick or choose at that point, but you've educated them.
You give them.
And that's why you're valuable, because you know the network of agents, like, this guy gets it done, this is a good offer.
And you want to be the one that gets it done too, because like even...
It's very important. That's your rep. Your rep is so important.
Oh my God. I had Nathan Brooks, who was like one of, I probably shouldn't have said his full name on, sorry. But
earmuffs.
he was like over the moon. Every time I talked to him, he was like, Jamie, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing. And all I kept thinking to myself was like, what kind of people does this guy deal with? He does like 30 deals a year, you know, and he's praising little old me for, you know, being on time with my conditions. Like,
well, and for me, being nice to the other agents, so like, why would they tell you anything if you're mean to them, right? Like, and so it's very important to keep in their good books. They're gonna tell you about deals, and then that's how you're gonna do more deals. And like, even yesterday, I was just chatting, what else do you got coming up? And, you know, and people, they tell you, like, because they trust you and they know you'll get stuff done.
Yeah, even when, like, I always give the agent a call after my showing, and I'm always like, okay, like, we noticed this about the house, like, can you tell me more about it? And here's the thing.
That's important.
Agents love to talk.
Yes, so if you're new, don't talk.
No.
But
Shut your mouth.
If you're a buyer agent or whatever, you got to figure out the why all the time. So you make the call. Why are they selling? Oh, well, they have to be out on the 7th because of X, Y, and Z. That's ammunition for us right now. Now we offer with this price and say, well, I gave you the 7th.
The closing date.
And even though I made sure my buyers, we moved a lot of stuff around, blah, 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 and that may or may not be the truth, but you're a negotiator, so you're going to say something like that. But it's all because the other agent kind of spilled the beans a bit. what I like to do is put us in a position of power. Like, oh, my seller's got 30 houses. This is just one of them on the market. Like, we kind of just want to, you know, like, oh, there's no negotiating because we don't care. Like, if it's possible to do something like that, but like always, you know what they're doing, and you have to like kind of like.
It's a game.
It's a chess game, and you got to quickly play it in your head quickly. Like, if I tell them this, is that going to be advantageous? And remember, you're working for your buyer, and then they're working for their seller. So
100%, and that's negotiation.
It's negotiation, and there's no swearing or yelling right there.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, it should never get to that point.
No, I've rarely. I over a misunderstanding, I had a shouting match with a dude once, and he just lost it. And then I explained something like. I said I dropped the keys off at his brokerage, and he got so mad that I did this, and it was at the very end of the deal, and he was so mad. He's like, it was supposed to go to the lawyers, and I'm like, well, okay, well, they're at your brokerage, just bring them over to the lawyers, and he made this huge deal about it, and then 5 minutes in he was swearing at me so much, and then I said, man, like, the deal's closed, I don't understand. He's like, it's closed? And I was like, oh, and like there was something in this deal, and he didn't think it was gonna close, and he thought I just like threw him the keys and like causing problems or something like that. I'm like, the deal's closed, like all you gotta do is hand it to your clients with a nice bow on it, dude. Like, and he's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, can we go out for a beer? No. And I was just like, man, you gotta chill out, dude. Like,
that's the thing, and you have to understand too, and that was like I said, cheapest house I sold this year caused me the most problems with other agents, and the reason for that is because they're stressed. Well, they're dealing with
buyers, cheap buyers per se. If their buyer has they're probably picky because they're humans, and then they probably can't qualify for a lot of money.
Well, and even at that, like when you get into that price point, you're in multiple offers every single time. So they might have they're
lost
coming to your
every weekend for the last.
Yeah, and they're coming to your listing. You know, to you it's brand new. To them it's the 11th house that they've tried to win on, and they're stressed, right? They know they've way overworked this $2,400 paycheck, $4,000 paycheck, and they just want it done. But that's when you lose respect from us, because keep your professional pants on.
So we can hear that if you're selling, you can hear their desperation, and you know they'll pay what you tell them to pay, because they just want to eat food that month, and we can use that as our advantage.
Even with bully offers, there might even be a kind of ulterior motive with that too. So definitely, like, if you get a bully offer, like, feel it out a little bit. Be like, oh, just talk to the agent, because if the agent ends up telling you that yes, they've lost out on 6 houses already.
So don't tell other agents this, guys, because like that's advantage to me right now. I know you're all desperate. I know your clients are probably tired of losing. And
I did that exact thing. So this house was listed at, am I good to say numbers?
Sure.
Okay, this house was listed at 179.9. Okay, my client, I was hoping to get over 2 for it, and we held offers. So before it even hit the market, because I had a coming soon sign on the lawn, I already had a bully offer. He came in at 5,000 over, and I was like, no.
I'll slide that right back to you.
That's not how it goes.
Because what that would be is like, why would I break up my listing here for your just a little bit of over?
I'm doing all of this preparation.
A bully is like that. It's right at the offer you can't refuse, kind of like a good bully offer should be like so tipping point of like, we could list it, but this just gets it done today. We could get $5 more grand maybe, but let's just take this because it's pretty good, it's clean, and it's usually cash, right?
Yeah, usually it's conditionless.
Yes.
And this one wasn't. That was the thing, right? No. This was but this was the guy that I had to eventually ban him from this. Right. He got so upset.
So he's not negotiating, he's emotional.
No, exactly. And I was like, I don't know what you want from me. Have you never been in this situation before? Oh, that's what it was. We tried to sign back. I called him and I said, hey, we're gonna sign back at this, and he's like, rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, no, you've never dealt with that before. Like, haven't you been in the business for 30 years? I'm See,
confused. I would probably tell him verbally, so that you didn't ruin your momentum of you didn't want to list that property, right? So if you start getting into negotiating with him, you can't even list it. You can't list it conditional, or you could, but that'd be weird.
Oh, no. Well, actually, so it's funny that you bring that up, because I pushed the listing back a day.
Yeah.
Because
So and the gamble, you got to quickly put in your head, being like, should I try with this guy? And then that's where the trust comes in. If this guy was like reputable, you'd be like, let's just, that's a good agent. But if this guy's gonna cry on the phone,
he came in screaming and yelling at me.
On the phone, you're gonna be like, you know what, dude, I'm putting this on the market, and you can battle everybody else.
And you're not allowed to show it again. But yeah, just really quick, I was listed at 179.9. He came in with a bully 5 over with conditions. I said no, but then I ended up trying to work with him, so I pushed the listing back a day. Okay, so it ended up not working out. We hit the market. The first day we were on the market, we had another agent who, again, had been losing out left, right, and center. Excuse me. And she came in. They had a home inspection in the next day. They had everything done. And she came in at, she came in at 185 too. And I was like, what is going on? I don't understand. So, I had talked to a couple other agents that day, and one of them being a really reputable 30-year agent, very nice, amazing lady. She called me and she's like, all she did was give me advice. She was so sweet. And basically she was like, okay, she goes, my daughter and I want to buy this house. Her daughter's a real estate agent too. My daughter and I want to buy this house, but we can't get to our mortgage broker until Friday. If you're taking offers tonight, deal with them. But I will tell you that I'm bringing you an offer for 210 tomorrow. And I was like,
and it's risky then at that point, because it's like, what if they never show? And
right.
People run away, and so you got to play this game in your head a lot of times.
Right. So that happened, and then I am not kidding you. Within an hour, I had actually shown the property to somebody just through Realtor.ca that had reached out, and I had contacted him, letting him know that there was a bully offer if he wanted to put in an offer. And not an hour after I got off the phone with her, I had an email from him. Hey, Jamie, would 210 be okay? So now I'm going back to this first girl and I'm saying, okay, I don't have anything in writing, but now I have 2 verbal offers that are 25, or I can't do math.
30.
Oh, okay, over what you've offered me.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, 20, I was 25, I was right, yay. But it's like, but then she was like, well, and then she got upset and she got defensive, and then she ended up getting her clients all like emotional about it, making them feel like I was being sketchy. And anyways, I followed all of the rules. This is when I had Rachel on the phone like every 5 minutes, and we got through it. And I ended up saying, like, listen, if you guys come up to 205 right now, we'll close this, we'll get it done. And she had a problem doing that. It was the worst situation ever, but we got it done. But she ended up reporting me to RICO. That she got her clients to report me, so that's still in the works. But it's like,
it's these low listings and emotional agents.
$200,000.
She wants to cause a big.
Yeah, because of the emotional that they've already been through, right?
What happened with RICO?
It's still in the works. But it's funny because I had actually, this is going to sound bad, but I had actually reported her to RICO because she threatened me with her offer. She sent it in and she basically said, here's the offer. If you don't take it, we're reporting you to RICO. Yeah. And I was like, you can't do that. So I actually screenshots, I sent this entire, like, it was like a 10-page Word doc to RICO explaining everything. It was like from day 1 to day now. Like, it was like time stamped. Luckily, everything is time stamped now. We have the opportunity to, like, slide the message over and screenshot it so you can see exactly when you got it. But I sent it to RICO and they got back to me being like, there's no problem here. So I know that I'm okay, but it's just like,
so you guys still want to get your real estate license?
It's just, you just be prepared, okay? Like, it's not
a
fun, and
job.
there's a reason we make really good money, and I'm gonna tell you right now, we don't make that good of money all the time. Yeah, we make we make a $10,000 paycheck, but that's like 3 months after we've done all of the work that we're doing right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's really hard.
A year in the making to make that money.
It's really hard. So, and budgeting is incredible.
And taxes and
budgeting is what has kept me afloat. Like because I would get my paycheck, I would pay $1,000 this credit card, $1,000 this credit card, and then, you know, all my real estate stuff, and I'd have nothing left. So then budgeting was me being able to like break everything down month by month and be like, okay, now I can actually survive. Living on commission is, you gotta be really
It's
careful.
tough, and in your first year, it's challenging. So
Yeah.
luckily, I have an agent course you can get some tips on. Yeah. But thank you so much for coming. That was
You're
amazing. We had a really great long chat. Hopefully, you guys took some value from it. Please let me know in the comments any questions you have, and hit her up on Instagram. Make sure you follow her, Jamie. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
It was amazing. Thanks so much.
Jeff.
And guys, we'll catch you on the next video. Bye.